First things first.
Yes.
How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
We are.
Great. Happy to be here.
Okay. Well, fun to have you. So, before we talk about the album Ruins, I'd like to jump back to the beginning and kind of your development in music, and particularly one person which is a favorite of mine as well, Townes van Zandt. When did you kind of came across him?
Do you remember exactly when?
I don't remember exactly when it was, no, but I remember finding his record, the self-titled record. I think it was his third record, and listening to that and just thinking each and every song was incredible. Just from like the arrangements, I thought were just so perfect.
Sparse,
yeah. But just, you know, exactly right. And then his voice is beautiful, but there's so much pain too in there. And then the lyrics, which I mean, he had it all.
Do you know kind of what age this was, approximately?
13?
Yeah,
13,
14 maybe, yeah.
Because with his music, like you say, and then in a sense with a lot of country music and folk music, it's very heavy at times. So at that age, what did you get out of that kind of music?
Well, it tells the truth. I mean, that's the way, was it 3 chords and the truth? That's what it is. It's the music of pain. It's dark. I think it was like refreshing.
Yeah, exactly.
To hear that.
As a teenager, when you feel so much all the time, you know, you're trying to figure out who you are and what you want to do, and you hear stuff like that, and it's really helpful to hear people who are going through something tough and are singing about it, and it's this beautiful moment where you just feel like someone gets you.
And so, getting involved in or introduced to this kind of music, when you started writing yourself, was that what you gravitated towards, the storytelling and trying to create an emotional connection?
Exactly. That was exactly what we wanted to do.
Yeah, totally, absolutely. That's you know why we wanted to call ourselves First Aid Kit, because we wanted to be a help, and I mean that was what music was for us. You know, it was and still is. Yeah. It's constantly there to make you feel less alone and more like a part of the world, you know. And so we have this dream of, like, if we ever made music and could put music out, that we wanted to give that back to the world of what we had gotten from other people's music.
What was it like then? Do you remember the first time you kind of realized that your music had a similar effect or could have a similar effect on people?
Trying to think if there was a specific moment. Well, I remember like playing a show in Sweden at a festival, and people knew the lyrics to the songs. Just like that feeling was really powerful, because you knew that they'd listen like really intently, because they knew the songs, you know.
They knew the words.
Every single word.
Yeah.
So that was really beautiful. Yeah. But I think it's something that's grown on us as we have grown as a band.
Absolutely. And I think you can really tell at our shows when people are singing along. I can really see it when the songs really meant something to them, and it's incredible. It's the biggest compliment that we could get.
So very quickly on this, then, what is it like seeing some of your heroes have that reaction to? Because I've seen the Polaris thing. When someone like Emmylou Harris kind of reacts that way, how does that feel? How does that?
Weird.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on?
Otherworldly.
Yeah, you don't really you can't really understand that that's like we made her cry. Like I'll never comprehend that. I'm just like. No. That feels like a dream.
Yeah, but I mean that's the kind of beautiful thing about it, though, because I mean I don't know what was going through in her head, what made her so emotional when we sang our song for her. But I'm guessing, you know, that it reminded her of something that she, you know, it's something in her life, and that's really the beautiful thing. Is like we write a song that means a certain thing to us, and then other people hear it and they make it their own, and it becomes a part of their lives, and like that's the magical thing about it. So it's, I don't want to like speculate too much as to
Sure.
why, because I don't think I could ever really understand or know, and I wouldn't really want to know, you know.
Yeah.
With kind of this in mind, then you've released 3 albums before, so now in the 4th. Are you aware of your audience? Are you aware while writing that you have people that will listen to it?
I mean, I think in some ways, in the back of our heads, yes, we know that, you know, there are going to be people who will listen to this and who are excited and who are anticipating it. But in the moment, no. It's not like, you know, we don't try to write with an audience in mind like that. I don't think that works for our genre, really, for what we do. It's better if it just comes straight from you without thinking about anything else but your own emotions and what you need to express.
Yeah.
So over the years, then, has the way in which you write, the way in which you tell stories, has that changed in your own mind?
The basic is the basic method, is the same. Just Klara and me with the guitar.
Yeah.
Singing our hearts out.
I mean, I think lyrically, there's been just more to gather from our own personal experiences, just as we're getting older and we're just having more experiences to draw from. So that's kind of changed a little bit. Whereas I think in the beginning, it was more storytelling. I mean, it still is, but then it wasn't as, we didn't use as much of our own lives, and didn't really have a need to in the same way that we do.
No.
Did it come easy then to reveal certain aspects of your life in those songs?
I mean, yeah, but when writing it, I don't think that we were thinking like, oh, this is so like daring, and you know, you don't really think about that it's going to be on a record. It's more later that you realize that, oh, this is really personal.
Yeah, it feels important. That's what feels important, is to write about something that you care about. You know, why else would you do it? So. Yeah, when we're writing it, we're not thinking about that. It's like, oh, this is too personal or something
it just
like that.
Has to be that way. Like it just is what it is. Kind of, we can't control it.
Yeah. And you say you still write in the same way, just the two of you and guitar. Can you, in a sense, because obviously you spend a great deal of time together, your sisters, so can you still surprise each other?
Oh my god.
Apparently you can. Yeah.
Oh god, that wasn't even scary. Why did that scare me? Oh god.
Obviously we can.
I'm scared of everything. Yeah, apparently there's your answer.
I think so.
I mean, I think we're surprised. You know, you surprise yourself. I don't think you ever really stop doing that, or at least not in our age. I think we're still like figuring ourselves out.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I can be like, you know, amazed by you when I see you live, when you play on stage. You know, I can be like, you know, I know you're good, but I'm like, whoa, you know, just, you know, I get goosebumps sometimes when Klara sings. So, or you know, when you write a good line. So for sure, I mean, I'm always surprised.
But you touched upon an interesting point, because I can imagine that the last couple of years have been quite, well, they say roller coaster for you.
Yeah.
Is it difficult to take a step back and kind of reflect on what you've done?
When you're in the midst of it, for sure.
Yeah.
But we took a break after releasing Stay Gold. We took like more than a year off from touring, and that was really good to get perspective on what we do. And, you know, just having kind of an everyday life for a while. Yeah. And then you realize how crazy it is, like the circus that we're in. And that it's not really a normal way of living. And that it's not always healthy either. I think that Klara and I we've had a really tough time coping with it, and the pressure. And just the traveling and all of that, it takes a toll on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we realized that we have to take care of each other.
Yeah.
So that break was something that was very necessary.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It had to happen.
Yeah.
So did you kind of stay away from music for a while, just do
Yeah.
completely different
Yeah,
stuff?
we stayed
Yeah.
away from each other and
Okay.
from music.
Yeah. I mean, we took the pressure off. We're basically, like, each time that we'd had a break from touring before, we were writing a record. So it was like, okay, we have these 4 months now where we're not on the road, but we have to be making a new record.
And it has to be great.
And then you could kind of see the circle of just like, okay, so now we're gonna record, and then we go on tour again, and then we do the same thing over and over and over again. You
Right.
know? So for us, it was like, okay, we need 6 months of no pressure. We don't need to be writing a single line. You know, there's just don't think about it, because it'll come later. But like, just use those 6 months and just do whatever. But of course, like, in those 6 months, we did write because we love writing, and it's just what we do. But we didn't have that pressure of having to do it. There was no one waiting. Like, there was no deadline that we were working towards, and that helped.